If you are an inventor or a entrepreneur or a builder, you need to know more about patents than your competitors, than your lawyers. Today I'll tell you something that no one would tell you. Those are the hidden rules. My name is Cheng Liu. I have been a professor and filed a lot of patents for myself. I have been a jury and a judge on several patent cases, and there is a hidden layer about patents that no one wants to tell you. Let me explain how those things work. Well, about patents, there is a fairy tale. The fairy tale consists of three steps. You have an idea, you apply for a patent, and you're protected thereafter. Sounds really interesting and sounds appealing, sounds simple. But that's not the whole story. The real story is this, okay? If you have idea, you need to check if other people have similar ideas already. Most likely, other people have had similar ideas, even ideas that are similar. You need to check. And this checking is not easy because to read a patent that somebody filed takes about a day of good work. And if you check for 20 patents, that's 20 days of good work. It's very time consuming unless you are in a very specific field. The second point about the fairy tale is that you apply for a patent. Well, the thing is that patent is not a right. Patent is a right of freedom, right to operate. Patent means if you have a patent, you can do things according to the patent. But patent is not a privilege and patent is not a right. To be more specific, for example, the number of claims that you own determines the annual maintenance fee that you pay to the USPTO or to the Chinese Patent Office, etc., etc. In other words, the patent office and their clerks lives off you. And keep in mind that those patent clerks eventually will get a job as a patent lawyer. So what do you think? The third point is that you're protected once you have a patent. That's not the case. Patents can always be improved, can always be circumvented, can always be copied shamelessly. If you want to protect, you have to take the other guys to court, and that takes money. And I'll explain to you how this works. It's important to understand the patent life cycle. The patent life cycle consists of several stages. First stage, you submit, and then it will be in a review. It's in a black window, it's in a dark window for a while because no one outside knows that you have submitted. Only the people inside the PTO knows you have submitted. Then it will be issued for public opinion circulation after about 2 years. During that period of time, other people can comment. But there are really very few people who watches the patent every day. So it will pass and then will be issued. You have a patent paper, but it's not free and it's not a privilege. You have to pay annually to maintain it. If you stop paying, then your patent expires. It doesn't matter how long it has been. And then there's a litigation phase. If somebody copies you, or if you want to take someone else to court, then it becomes interesting. Then the litigation team is very expensive. Let me explain to you why. I will tell 6 stories that I personally participated. And those are stories that honestly it's a shame that no one tells engineers, no one tells inventors, no one tells entrepreneurs. They learn it after they failed miserably. So I hope it helps. The number one case is a nest fire alarm case that I participated. It's the company that's later bought by Google, Nest, and they were litigating against a well-known home fire alarm company. It's about a case of voice recognition in fire alarms. To make the long story short, I was given a assignment of about $1,000 an hour to review the patents as a neutral judge because a judge doesn't know so much about technology. So I was certainly very happy. It pays very well. In the end, what got the New York team win or have the team basically dismiss the case was the fact that the two parties cannot agree on the definition of the word electronics. And they cannot agree on what dictionary they should use. In the end, they ended up charging so much that the judge presiding the case basically dismissed it, and that's probably what people at Nest wanted. So even if you are a 30-year company practicing in the field, you're not safe, okay? Unless you hire the best or the most expensive lawyers. The number two case is one of my friend. His name is Chad, and Chad is a very good professor. So one day he went to a conference, and let's say the conference is held on April 12th, and he told the audience at his talk that, hey, everyone, I just filed a patent yesterday on this idea. Well, guess what? It turned out that there was someone listening in the audience, and he's from a competing company. So they went back and they have another patent during review. So they just added the point. They added a point to their patent filing, and it instantly dismissed Chad's invention in secret, I have to say. The third case is a company that I can't name. I call that X company. So they have a patent, but they didn't defend it the first time somebody infringed on it. And then the second time when a bigger cat came to infringe on it, they hired a team to defend their patent. But people argue that why you didn't bother with the first case. Well, they lost. The fourth story is one of my good friends. He started a electronic cigarette company. He had a good patent that he wanted to sell to Philip Morris, the cigarette company. And they had a very good dinner, had a wonderful talk in Las Vegas. Everything was fine. He had a good sleep. He called me at night and said, "Oh, what a great day I had." And on the second day, everything changed. Because during the evening, the lawyers pulled a file from the USPTO's disallowed filings. Now, when a patent is disallowed, but it was circulated in hidden review, it is considered public knowledge. So my friend's invention was deemed worthless because there was a earlier case. And of course, Philip Morris would be very happy because now they can use my friend's idea without paying. Wonderful. Number five case is Thomas Edison. Everybody knows that Tom is a great inventor and he should be the smartest inventor on earth, but actually he's not. During the electric war, the war of electricity, Edison was fighting with Westinghouse, and Edison was a good inventor, but really not a good entrepreneur, or he didn't really start up a successful company. Westinghouse's boss, His name is Westinghouse. He had a European patent on a electric lamp. So although Edison stopped Westinghouse from using the Edison idea of an electric light bulb, the Westinghouse team used a European patent that was allowed. So, everybody talks about during the World Expo, Edison's lights light up a city. Well, most people don't know that the city that light up the city, the light bulbs that light up the city was actually Westinghouse's lights, and they were from patents that uh, was a earlier patent, even earlier than Edison's, bought from Europe. The last story is about a microfilm case. This is a very weird case. There is a United States manufacturer of small microphones, and they are very, very good. Uh, Now, when they try to expand in another country, for example, China, what they learned is that somebody has already filed a patent about their invention in China. This is weird because uh, the party literally just translated their US patent from English to Chinese and filed in a lower tier Chinese patent. It's something that the Chinese would allow, but the US wouldn't allow. So when the US team went to China, they discovered that somebody has already filed on behalf of them in the native language. And of course, the US team can win. So I hope those six stories would deflate some of the fantasies about patents. If you have an idea and if you have a patent, you must use it. It's certainly a nice thing to have a patent. But if you don't use it, if you don't build it into a big company, if you don't make it into profits, if you don't make a lot of money so that you can hire very expensive, very experienced, talented lawyers, your patent is worthless. I hope it helps. Thank you very much. I'll see you in future episodes.